Hey, good evening, India. This is Twice Blessed Man uh, coming to you on September 2nd, 2018. So, today I want to talk about a really important topic that is affecting, I would say, maybe more than 90% of urban India, right? Um, so, today, corporate stress, right, is a reality that we live with, right? It's a necessary evil. Stress has many facets to it, right? Stress can come about uh, due to extensive workloads, long working hours, emotional upheavals in the workplace, at home, societal pressures, um expectations that are built up from society, from family, from the workplace, targets. So, I'm just trying to analyze this whole thing. Even before I get into this article, I want to lay down some of my thoughts and then I'll go over this article because there's no point going through this article until and unless we have a point of view, we have a frame of reference here. Because what I think all of us can agree, and we are all employed somewhere or the other in our respective firms, and what really gets to us is that we end up giving a lot of our life to the workplace. And although there is clearly a financial reward, an incentive to work, there's no doubt. Beyond that, what also happens is that in this capitalistic structure where companies have to make profits and employees have to work for certain wages, and then companies are able to use this gap uh, to obviously earn a profit, and that's legitimate. That's how the capitalistic structure works. So that's all fine. But then, what happens when corporates start exploiting you? And this is where there is a very fine line between working hard and getting stretched and getting overworked, right? So can companies employ more number of people to do certain jobs, or do they really have to make do with certain number of resources for a particular job? So these are the trade-offs that corporates make, and somewhere corporate greed, in my humble opinion, has a big role to play in determining stress levels among Indians today, because um, it's also about getting more bang for the buck, getting more number of hours per employee, getting more dollars per employee, getting more revenue per employee. So nobody's talking about this in the media, right? Unfortunately, everybody's saying, "Oh, we are having instituting programs to manage your stress. We'll give you yoga, meditation. You'll give you an extended holiday. Go chill out for 15 days in a year." All that is fine. I mean, but then fundamentally, I think the question I want to ask is the human body and mind even designed to take the kind of stress that we are going through today? A certain amount of stress is good, mind you, right? It gets you more alert, makes you more focused. You are able to get the best out of you through stress as well. So stress is not bad, but then stress, when you experience it over a prolonged period of time, um, it gets into a zone where things can go wrong from a health perspective. Your mental health can suffer. You're no longer enjoying your work. You started off enjoying your field of work. You thought you will be $1 million, or right, you will excel in your particular area of work. But as time goes on, you'll realize that as fatigue kicks in, as there are no breaks provided between projects, as you go along this hurtling train, you'll quickly realize that your body is getting derailed, right? Because uh, I mean, it's as simple as that. And I have certain opinions of my own here, which I would like to express on this video. Be it male and female fertility that we are talking about. Nobody is talking about this. Even male and female fertility is directly related to stress, and this is just my personal opinion. I don't have data to prove it. Obviously, the skeptics and critics will jump on me and lynch me for making this comment, but I don't care. I will still have to say what I have to say, because I this is book based on empirical experience, um, talking to friends and family, and we all know this, that the human physiology is designed in a certain way, and subjected to a huge amount of stress, then it starts malfunctioning. The things it's supposed to do, reproduce, and all of the other stuff goes haywire. And before you know, people are catching early diabetes at the age of 40, and the wheels come off uh, the vehicle, as it were. So uh, it's psychosomatic, right? You put that kind of stress on a woman's mind or on a man's mind, it's definitely going to tell over a period of time. And people get to a point where they do not have a life any other than work. Most people are sometimes lazy. In fact, I'm lazy sometimes of not creating a life for myself outside of the work. Although I have habits and recreations, that I have developed over a period of time. But then, while that supplements and helps you on a daily basis, some amount of exercise is good. I can advocate for exercise. It makes you fresh and makes you raring to go after a few hours. So there are ways of combating stress, no doubt. But I just want to say that the current civilization that we have built based on the entire capitalistic structure is not sustainable. It's going to tell more and more on male and female fertility, male lifespans, female lifespans, and the family as a system is going to be under attack, because the moment parents cannot provide for their own, for their children, the moment they are not, it's not about oh, I got them toys, I gave them money, I got them chocolates. That's all fine. I mean, that every parent does. But beyond that, are you going to be there for your child when you need him, or are you actually busy in a corporate meeting? I mean, these are the kind of trade-offs that everybody has to make in their life. So all I can say in conclusion is that I think it's time that India implemented labor laws. There has to be fixed number of working hours in certain professions. Otherwise, this is going to become a silent epidemic, right? We're going to become like Japan. In Japan, you have people working continuously for 36 hours, and then they'll drop dead. I mean, that is not the society we want to create. That is not the society we want to become. And there has to be another way of generating wealth and prosperity, one which is more efficient, one which requires more automation, and one which actually, should I say, focuses more on quality than quantity. There has to be a better way for corporates to channelize their profits. Anyway, that said, I just want to quickly go through this article. So, this article is pretty old, by the way, but please understand that this is very relevant to what we are talking about today, right? It might be June 26th, we are on 2nd September, but the topic has not gone away. It is still there, very much to stay in our lives, unfortunately so. So, how is India Inc. dealing with rising stress? So, I just want to quickly go over some of these things mentioned in the article. Nearly half the employees in India suffer from some kind of stress, according to the findings of the latest survey by Optum, shared exclusively with the Economic Times. So, I'm basically reading off an article from the Economic Times, which has at least thrown some light on this subject. I wanted to personally cover an article which was much more recent, but just goes to show that people are actually paying lip service to this topic and not taking seriously. It is a silent epidemic. In fact, most contemporary modern illnesses that we acquire prematurely can be attributed to stress. It is so shocking that then once society is shaken from its roots, then the corporates will be up in arms. They just don't know how to handle the situation anymore, because now society is under attack. That's what the civilization really needs to rethink who we are, why have we come here, what is our purpose. We spend 40 or more hours a week in the offices, right? We're spending a greater part of our lives here, right, away from family, right? We need to make this a pleasurable experience. At the same time, we have to be productive. So there is still some amount of thinking, enlightenment that is needed on this subject. Yeah, so which also means that corporate margins should not be absolute, and compensations can be very high at the top management level, whereas people get paid peanuts down the hierarchy. So redistribution of profits, redistribution of capital between top management and employees is probably a solution that will also help companies to hire more people at a lesser cost than to pay some individual at the top a gazillion bucks, and he doesn't deliver also. So anyway, it's a tangential argument, but still made. So coming back to the survey, the survey is talking about how 800,000 employees were interviewed across 70 large companies, each with a minimum workforce of 4,500. So yeah, and let's talk about the results. So okay, here the managing director of Marico says there's so much of uncertainty and ambiguity in the environment that it leads to stress. It is the job of the leaders to ensure that they learn to absorb the stress and not pass it on. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes we have this tendency to pass the buck to the team, and we are not in a position to absorb stress ourselves. And that's a fair point, and I agree with that. Then there's this nice infographic that's talking about how nearly half of employees in India are suffering from some kind of stress. Proportion of workers at high risk of suicide due to unmanaged stress has grown to 8%. I mean, these are certain indicative statistics, but actual figures might be much, much higher if people were to take a much larger sample set. Just my personal view. Urbanization is contributing to the problem, and this is what I began the video with, right? I talk about how urban India is suffering. People are coming into big cities. There's less family support, more distance being traveled, less work-life balance, less. I would say. The emotional quotient, the emotional life of the individual is being grossly neglected. It's almost like my wife keeps telling me that you've become a corporate robot. I mean, yeah, it's like 8 hours a day. I'm a robot. I just can't process any input outside of my work, and I'm sure a lot of men can relate to this, and I'm sure the women can relate to their husbands' behaviors as well. It's pretty much like that. And then we take our corporate stress home, and then we wreck our family lives. Somebody has to investigate divorces also and see what kind of role stress is also playing there. Moving on, here Archana Bisht is talking about how the whole business environment today is under pressure. A lot of the stress comes from the work front, particularly in industries where a lot of restructuring is happening and people are concerned about their jobs. So yeah, I think as a society we should learn that failure is okay. Fine, businesses go through upheaval. So what? So you'll get fired, big deal. So what? You're going to stay off the EMIs for a few months, fine. You'll go back to work after some time. Life does not end just because you are sacked from a job, and that does not mean that you have failed in the absolute scheme of things. I think our value systems are also getting weaker by the day. Moving on, yeah, so this is particularly true of mid-level managers with children and loans to repay, right? Such people are among the better paid in their organizations and hence fear that they might be the first in line to be axed. So all this pressure, fear of failure, okay, am I the next one to be axed? I mean, this sounds almost silly, it's almost kiddish, but it's happening right now, right? And probably, you have organizations like Isha Foundation and all of these entities trying to address this problem in a limited way, but we really need to democratize uh, the ability to de-stress. I think and do it more efficiently. We have to integrate that as part of our curriculums. We have to integrate it as part of our corporate time we spend at offices. It has to be not made mandatory, but at least in the interest of their own employees, I think companies should take this proactive step and get employees to de-stress at a certain part of the day. So there's intensifying peer pressure thanks to social media. So these are all societal pressures which I mentioned. Again, there's also the risk of suicide. So there's mental health, which is a big issue. People feel worthless after a while, or they simply don't receive appreciation from their bosses. I mean, any number of reasons can be mentioned here, and it's just this is an epidemic. And I really feel for the children who are being born in this generation. I mean, they just deserve parental love as much as any other child does, and I'm just wondering if they will be devoid of that. Instead, they'll be, चलो बेटा chocolate ले लो, चलो बेटा तुम्हें क्या लाया हूँ, अभी मुझे जाना है हाँ आप खेल लो. I mean that kind of attitude is not going to work, right? You have to be there for the child when you need it. If you can't, then you're failed in life. You might be a sterling success in the corporate world. You might be earning, I mean, maybe 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs per annum. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But then what have you achieved in your life? When you look back on it, nothing. You excelled in impressing society, but you were not able to impress your own family. I think Indians need to take a step back, and also look at alternate modes of work, explore entrepreneurship, try to become independent. Then the entrepreneurship, I think, you know, can have a big impact on a nation. But I think there are a lot of talented people who can actually break out on their own and do much better. I mean, everybody doesn't need to be in the workforce. I mean, that's just a misnomer. So, I mean, there's a lot of statistics in this article. I'll leave an article link to the article so that people can go through it in detail. But I wanted to bring to your attention. I've done a much longer video. I've tested your patience, but I think it is worth it. I think if you can reflect on this and think about what you can do on a daily basis to de-stress, and what kind of decisions are you willing to take, what kind of trade-offs are you willing to make in your life, I think that way this video would have served its purpose. Yeah. Thank you.